Hey guys, I want to show you how I made the dummy layout for 24 pages. I went into InDesign, I took the right size document, so let's say document setup, okay? I need to look at this in inches, so I'm going to go to InDesign, Preferences, Units and Increments. I'm going to change this to inches, and then I'm going to say OK. And now when I say File, Document Setup, I see that I have 8.275, which should actually be 8.75, and my height should be 10.25 with my bleed. So I'm going to click OK. Okay, so now that's going to move everything a little bit, but that's okay because it's not really done. But you'll see how checking that right now was a really good idea. Okay, so you see I went ahead and just plopped your layouts in here, and that's really great because we can still edit everything and we can start creating links. But let's say that we have a 2-page spread here that we have nothing to do with. We're going to go ahead and add some student art. So I'm going to go ahead and press Command D, and what you'll see here is that I have all of this art that I received from Taylor from the art class. So I'm just going to hit select on one of them. I'm going to pick one of each of these. There's a lot of doubles, which I definitely don't want. And then I'm just gonna, again, I'm not even really looking at them right now. I'm just trying to get as many as possible. I know this one's the label for the photography class, so that's good to include. And then I'm gonna keep people out of it for now, just for sake of my example and my demo, since this is on video. And I'll keep the logos out as well. And then let's just go ahead and pretend that I have everything that I want to include. I'm going to press open, and it's going to tell me how many photos I loaded, which is 24. So when I have 24 photos loaded, I can hit Shift Command, and I start to draw out a grid. So I'm going to go ahead and do a grid, and I'm going to go use my arrow tools to get it back to 4 by, actually I'm changing my mind. I'm going to do 6 columns by 4 rows, and that's 24 photos. If I hold, I have not let go of my mouse yet. If I hold Shift and Command again, I can get rid of the space between the modules, and I'm going to release it, and then it's going to fill right there with all of the pieces of art. Now, the cool thing about this is that they made all these all look like their Instagram photos. So I can also go ahead and select all of this, and I'm going to say Object Fit, and this time I want to fit the frames to the content, because what I want to do is I want to give everybody a little bit of a drop shadow. Okay, so now it looks like they're Polaroids. Now this is just a very quick way to do this. Is this ready to go? Well, it could be. You could maybe make this one a little bit bigger, since this is the art class page, right? You can just have that one a little bit off, and then you've really got a layout that stands for itself. And I made it in what, 5 minutes, and that could go. And it could run. Now, I'm never a fan of the drop shadow just as it is, so I do want to show you something else. I'm going to turn off the drop shadow, and then I'm going to show you really quickly how you can make something a little more unique. Okay, using the square, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a rectangle that's a tiny little bit bigger. I'm going to take off the stroke, and I'm going to fill it with 50% gray. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to feather those edges quite a bit so that it has a really soft look to it. Let's see if this is going to give me a preview. Okay, that's a little too soft. So you see this little soft preview. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and raise the choke up so it's a little bit firmer. Okay, and now I'm going to move this off to the side. Okay, and then I'm also going to take my other tool, and you can see how you can add these points to get some bends in your shape. Okay, so I'm going to make one, because the idea is I never want to do things more than once. I want to do it once, and then I want to duplicate. Okay, so what I can do is I can wait until my cursor's in the right spot, and then I can go in and I can take this convert, and I can just slightly modify this. Okay, now I don't want it to be, I want it to look like this is a piece of paper, and so you'll see here in a second what I'm going to do. So if I do this, I'm going to really make these stand out. Okay, really make these edges stand out, and what that's going to do is it's going to give me this look of these flipping up a little bit. Okay, now I did not do a good job on this side, so I need to change this one right here. Okay, and give me another second. Let me do this. I'm going to pull it. So I want to go down, and I want this one to go down too. Then I want this We don't like that. Okay. Okay, I know you're wondering what the heck is she doing. Okay. And now the idea is that if I put this behind, this paper looks like it's flipping up a little bit, okay? And it's just by making this illusion. So this was a really bad example, but it's late, it's after school. I did this on the fly. I would love to show you guys how to do this later. And so if you are interested in this and you want to know how to do that, I'm happy to show you. But again, it's to give it a look like it is popping out, and the more delicate you make it, the more interesting it becomes. Okay, so that's probably a better idea at the top. See how it looks like it's now flipping off the top just on this left side right here? And then I would obviously play with this and try to get it to be a little more perfect. But this is the start of something cool. Once I make it once, I definitely don't want to recreate it more than I have to. So I would, like I said, make it once. I actually kind of really like that, just sticking up a little bit. And then I could apply that to all of them so that you have this layout where it looks like these are all sticking out. Okay. So again, I would then take this, hold down Alt. You'll see if I'm on my arrow tool and I hit just the drop shadow and press Alt, it duplicates it. And then I can go ahead and move that down, and you see that it makes it look like they're all popping out a little. It just gives them a tiny bit of 3D effect. So it looks like they're sticking off like paper, and it just makes it look a tiny bit more real. So again, this was a really sloppy example, but I wanted you to have this so that we could play around with possibilities. Thanks for listening.